Hello, I'm Eileen Hansen and it's time for another intelligent anime review. Greg recently did his review of a classic gem, Cowboy Bebop. I love that show. Pure gold. Now I would like to talk about another of the favorites of the home team at Kraft. And one that, at least in my opinion, is equally brilliant. Two young brothers, Edward and Alphonse Elric, attempt unsuccessfully to revive their mother using the power of alchemy. In the process, the elder brother, Ed, loses a leg, and the younger brother, Al, loses his entire body. Ed manages to attach his brother's soul to a nearby suit of armor, at the cost of his right arm. Edward and Alphonse Elric are searching for the legendary Philosopher's Stone, a powerful object which would allow them to recover their bodies, which were lost in an attempt to bring their mother back to life through alchemy, written and illustrated by Hiromu Arakawa. The world of Fullmetal Alchemist is styled after the European Industrial Revolution. Set in a fictional universe in which alchemy is one of the most advanced scientific techniques known to man, the story follows the brothers Edward and Alphonse Elric, who want to restore their bodies after a disastrous failed attempt to bring their mother back to life through alchemy. Born in the village of Resimble, from the country of Amestris, the two brothers live there with their parents. Their father, Hohenheim, leaves home for unknown reasons, and years later, their mother, Tricia Elric, dies of a terminal illness, leaving the Elric brothers alone. After their mother's death, Edward becomes determined to bring her back through the use of alchemy, an advanced science in which objects can be created from raw materials. They research human transmutation, a forbidden art in which one attempts to create or modify a human being. However, this attempt fails, ultimately resulting in the loss of Edward's left leg and Alphonse's entire body. In a desperate effort to save his brother, Edward sacrifices his right arm to affix Alphonse's soul to a suit of armor. Some days later, an alchemist named Roy Mustang visits the Elric brothers, and he tells Edward to become a member of the state military of the country to find a way to recover their bodies. After that, Edward's left leg and right arm are replaced with automail, a type of advanced prosthetic limb created for him by his close family friends Winry Rockbull and her grandmother Pinako. Edward sets out to become a state alchemist, an alchemist employed by the state military of Amestris, which infamously annihilated most of the Ishbalan race in the past decade. Becoming a state alchemist enables Edward to use the extensive resources available to state alchemists, but it also turns him into what they call a dog of the military. His more friendly relationship with Roy Mustang, however, whom he reports to, and who recruited him, allows the brothers freedom to search for the Philosopher's Stone as part of Edward's research, as each state alchemist is expected to independently research new things which may be of use to the state military of Amestris. The brothers set off in search of the Philosopher's Stone as a means to restore their bodies. Throughout their journey, they meet many antagonists, including those who are willing to do anything to obtain the Philosopher's Stone. Scar, one of the few surviving Ishbalans, who seeks vengeance on the state alchemists for the destruction of his race, and the Homunculi, a group of human-like creatures who carry pieces of the Philosopher's Stone inside themselves, and from it derive the ability to survive almost any harm. As the story progresses, Edward and Alphonse discover the vast expansion of Amestris was the result of the Homunculi, who created and secretly control the state military. The Homunculi and much of the high-ranking military officers are commanded from behind the curtains by the creator of the Homunculi, a man simply known as Father, who gained immortality by using a copy of Hohenheim as his new body centuries before the series timeline. He plans to use Amestris as a gigantic transmutation circle, possibly to transmute the entire country into the Philosopher's Stone. When Edward and Alphonse discover Father's plans, they, along with other members of the state military, set out to defeat him. The popularity of this show was, and is understandable. Serialized in Square Enix's monthly Shonen Gangan magazine beginning in August 2001, and currently has dozens of manga volumes. adapted into an animated television series of 51 episodes by Studio Bones. The original FMA series ran from October 4, 2003 to October 2, 2004, later followed by a film sequel that concluded the story of the anime. Both eventually would be distributed by our friends at Funimation. Fullmetal Alchemist would later spawn a second series called Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, which first premiered in Japan on April 5, 2009. A multitude of spin-off novels, original video animations, OVAs, drama CDs, soundtracks, and video games have been adapted from the series. A collectible card game, multiple supplementary books, and a variety of action figures and other merchandise based on the characters of the series have also been released. In Japan, the Fullmetal Alchemist manga has had good sales with over 13 million volumes sold as of 2008. The English release of the manga's first volume was the top-selling graphic novel during the year 2005. In 2 web polls, the anime was voted #1 most popular anime of all time in Japan. It was nominated in 6 of the 8 categories for which it was eligible at the American Anime Awards in February 2007, winning awards in 5 of them. In the 20th volume of the manga, creator Arakawa announced that a second Fullmetal Alchemist anime series was being produced. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood premiered on April 5, 2009 on Japanese TV, with Funimation again picking up their US rights to the series and putting together an English-language cast soon after. Visually, this show looks relatively good, though I'm not a big fan of characters becoming deformed, even if it's for comedic purposes, and that's just because I'm a spoilsport. I never noticed the animation being choppy, inconsistent, or anything of that sort, but it wasn't quite as impressive as some of the other shows I've seen as of late, and some were a slight bit older, so that's really not in this show's favor. The character designs are excellent, with even uniformed characters within the military seeming distinct, Major Armstrong humorously standing out more so than the others, and the lead characters, Alphonse and Edward Elric, have interesting designs as well. In particular, I note Alphonse, the younger brother, who is encased in a hulking suit of armor. The music during the show is actually quite forgettable, which, for a show that is related to Square Enix, is bordering on unforgivable, though the most of the opening themes and one ending theme are energetic and catchy enough. The characters are fresh enough and well motivated thus far. Only one character seems somewhat stale, the brash, tomboyish Winry, who, for some reason, irritates me to no end. Oh, I mean no. And the interaction between the Elric brothers as they travel is interesting and often amusing, with humor being a frequent visitor to the series rather than the constantly grim series the summary might have indicated. Story-wise, the series is very good as well, and the series hasn't had too much filler, but the flashbacks can be annoying. But certainly better than what has been offered on Naruto, and especially the repulsive Inuyasha. On the original Japanese language version, Romi Paku does an excellent Edward, and Dodogos for Raikuji Miya as Alphonse. Likewise, the English dub is masterful. The guys at Funimation have their best cast here. Vic Mignogna and Aaron Desmuke are wonderful as the Elric brothers, and Travis Willingham does a pristine Roy Mustang. Funny mainstay Chris Sabat is a great Armstrong, and even Caitlin Glass does the repulsive Winry some justice. Laura Bailey as Lust is an example of an actress who can do it all. And even VA veterans such as Tiffany Grant, Johnny Yongbosch, and even Canadian VA Scott McNeil chime in what a lineup of pure talent. In a time when crafty and fodder and fan service is abundant in anime, Fullmetal Alchemist is a breath of fresh air. I recommend that anyone looking for a predominantly fun series and are just starting in anime get into the original Fullmetal Alchemist right now. Saying that, if you have loved and watched the original, I have great news. The Cartoon Network has announced that Adult Swim will air the newest incarnation of FMA Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood February 14th. Way to go, Adult Swim! This has been another Intelligent Anime Review. I am Eileen Hansen for CRAF, reminding everybody to enjoy anime responsibly and have fun.